So we're gonna start in 3, 2, 1, and Tetris.
We have the number 5 seed Myles on the left, Pixel Andy the number 4 seed on the right. And we got a little bit of Clone Tris coming off for the first couple of pieces here.
We can see vastly different stacking styles already, but...
And Andy striking first blood with the Tetris. Myles gonna follow suit. Both players on the board with the score.
Yeah, exactly. Not much to commentate so far. It's pretty early on 18. So I think I should take this opportunity to take how is your second event? Is this your second event, Lone Star?
This is my first time at Lone Star. I've been to a handful now. I've been to, obviously Illinois was my first one, and then Lone Star is the third one I've been to. I've been to Ohio as well.
Yeah, but I mean, how's your experience in your second ever event? How does it differentiate from Ohio to like the Lone Star one?
Easy is the amount of folks here. I mean, Ohio did get a little bit bigger, but you know, getting players down in this region, seeing players of this caliber, I mean, there's a very strong Tetris presence down here and a lot of Tetris greatness. And then aside from Ohio, getting to see players like Andy and Dog, who I've been wanting to meet forever, right?
Yeah, now we have Myles, 137 for Myles, 159 for Andy, with the slight lead. Also Andy 2 lines ahead.
Yeah, but nice clean stacks here. Nobody's in real trouble. Myles able to get another Tetris there to 161. Andy gonna follow suit at 182. And
now
so,
oh, sorry, I was gonna say that. Remember that it's a 39 cap, right? Like a level 39 cap. So pace does matter once again. Used to not. I don't know if Gerald is happy about that, but 39 is like kind of becoming the norm. I don't know if Gerald is in the chat.
yeah, I think it gives the viewers a nicer experience. You know, they're not just going to watch players, you know, single and double until infinity, right? You know, it's going to cause players, like you said, pace going to matter once again, and folks going to see some intense Tetris at those higher speeds.
Is Gerald ever happy? We don't know. We don't know.
And K9 watching Tetris again, thank you for the 321 bits. I missed that.
So it's pretty much neck and neck. 51 lines, so about a 500 pace on 100 lines. So it's a pretty good pace overall going into 29. We could call it pretty much even. Nice adjustment for Andy.
Yeah, you can kind of see here Myles, you know, has only been backed by 1 to 2 Tetrises at any given time. Of course, still very early days, halfway through 18 now. And, you know, 2 Tetrises on 18, really not that much of a difference to make up in the post-transition. All right, Myles having to do a slight bit of burning. Does get the well back open, then it gets a nasty square. It's going to set up some more burns.
Now, Myles getting a little bit high. Should be all right. A square would be ideal, but doesn't get the square. Now getting, as we say in LATAM community, SZ, which means S and Z. Not ideal, but getting it done. Almost out of it.
And of course, Myles, you know, known around the Tetris community for the Myles digs. Certainly on 18, a little bit more manageable than trying to do this at those 19 speeds. Just like that, gets a long bar for the Tetris, make it a double. Goes from 342 to 365, and we're at 85 lines for Myles. 445 for Andy at 86. So about an 80,000 point lead here.
Yeah, now that we were talking about like in real life impressions, I always get amazed at how tall Myles is. Nice bits for Myles. How hugely tall it is. Probably not to show that I'm too short. That could probably be the explanation.
You know, they say the camera adds a couple of pounds and a couple of inches, but really in Myles' case, you know, meeting Myles, he's a tower, and, you know, really cool to see him.
So 514,000 for Andy at 100 lines. So this is actually a pretty good pace. 456,000 for Myles. Actually not a bad pace, but Andy about 50,000 points ahead. About, we could say 2 Tetrises. Nice adjustment. So we could see like a mid 600K if my math works.
I think your prediction of a 500K at 100 lines was pretty spot on for Andy here. Myles, unfortunately, just a tad bit back on the pace because he did get into that dig and unfortunately having to do a little bit more burning here.
So we're nearing transition. Andy, 2 Tetrises away from a 600 score, and we're not even at it 130 lines, so this is a pretty good pace. Nice adjustments overall, and Myles reaching 500,000 at 115 lines. 15 lines to go to the first transition. Tetris in 2023, first transition.
All right, Andy going to get a couple of pieces for the Tetris, as is Myles. 537, now 596 for Andy. Added Tetris go to 619.
And that is going to transition within the next 3 lines. Probably Tetris, could be a triple. Adjust for the squares and into a Tetris. 643,000 transition for Pixel Andy. Myles could potentially transition with a high 500,000. Not a 600K anymore.
Yeah, going to look at about a 580 transition here if the bar comes.
The bar is going to come eventually because Andy got it. They're playing on the same piece as
does have to burn 568 into transition. There's the bar for the score, 592. So off we run these level 19 speeds.
So almost 700,000 for Andy at 144 lines. Still in a huge pace. Myles breaking 600,000. Nice adjustments overall. Andy pulling ahead just ever so slightly.
Yeah, it does get a Tetris there up to 722. Myles going to need to turn on the aggression here in the post-transition because both of these players, rollers, having piece maneuverability. You know, we did just see that Dash Championship. These players able to do things with pieces a lot faster than we saw before. So we're going to expect to see some high-caliber Tetris being played at these high speeds.
And both they were formerly known as pretty high-level Dash players, usually like related to good stacking, quote unquote. Myles used to have like a better PB with Dash when he used to be a tapper. So he's pretty good at stacking, theory. Pretty good at rolling. Also Andy. This is going to be a pretty heavyweight match. And he misses the spin. It doesn't matter. Gets nice, clever burns. On healthy squares. Waiting for the long bar. One piece too late.
Yeah, so Andy in a bit of a dig, getting some good pieces. Would love something for the center. Gets that Tetris wall back open, waiting for the bar. Has to clog it again with the square.
Meanwhile, Myles already caught up. 798 for Myles. Actually, Andy in the trouble.
Does get a couple of Tetrises, brings the board back down. 855 playing 830.
So Myles catching up, pretty much even, making the best out of Andy's dig. But Andy's going to be digging for a while, so this is Myles' opportunity to get into the lead. Almost does it.
And there it is. That Tetris going to go to 862, right on his tails. Andy still digging Myles clean. Myles going to wait for the long bar here. He's ready and waiting. There's the long bar. Going to slam it down for a Tetris. Go to 893. Meanwhile, Andy has finally cleaned up the board, and he's going to start stacking for a Tetris. As Myles doing exactly what he needs to do, turning up the aggression, scoring points on 19.
Yeah, Myles is going to take the lead. 928 for Myles, but it now has a few holes, and now Andy is the one that's going to be playing a little bit clean. An uncomfortable lumbar dependency. And some rough pieces for Myles. That's going to be a dirty Tetris for Myles.
963, 966. A Tetris and a half for the max out.
We're nearing the other transition. Nice touch for Andy. Into a Tetris. So this is going to be back and forth all the way to 28. Myles getting ready for another Tetris setup. Not quite. Decided to go for the double well.
And he's losing pace. You can kind of see him shaking his head there, Pollo.
Max out for Andy, level 27 into 28. Myles not far behind. The next stretch should do the max out. There it is. Max out for Myles.
Andy already there at A45. Myles at A19. We've got level 29 fast approaching. Myles going to get there with the next Tetris. He is set up. Does the long bar come or does he have to take the burn? He burned it in 19, but he is going to Tetris into 29. Here we go. A58. Pixel Andy, A82. Pixel Andy taking a couple of nice burns to get that stack low. Myles doing the same. It's A65 now, A95. About a 30,000 point lead here for Pixel Andy.
Now it's a battle of rollers. Andy decided to go for the left wheel build-up instead of going for the Tetris into 28. That was clever. He had more burn options now. Myles running into a little bit of traffic. Waiting for the long bar, actually. Long bar for a triple, I think that was. Now a little bit of traffic, but Andy into the lead. B59 for Andy, A93 for Myles.
Yeah, very close game here. About 50,000 points now separating.
So still Myles working through this thing.
Myles is in trouble here. Okay, needs a couple more burns because going to be able to use that long bar and another triple air to bring the board down. He's at B13. It's double 1.1. B77 here for Pixel Andy. Pixel Andy is also in dig mode.
Amazing dig. Amazing dig from Myles. Always just like Colin said, the Myles-esque dig. Waiting for the long bar to burn it off cleanly.
All right, good couple of burns here from Myles. We might see Myles set up in column 1. He's going to take the triple there, B52 to B98.
Now, amazing dig from Myles. Another
Oh, that's
slight
a
misdrop.
Tetris for Andy. C40.
C40, this is B61. Andy in a little bit of trouble. Myles clean, trying to set up for a Tetris. Set up into a Tetris. C07 for Myles, C53 for Andy, I'm sorry.
Yeah, Andy, a little bit dirty here. Myles, very nice and clean. This is what you like to see. Does have to kind of sell out the board just a tad bit, but going to get access set up for a Tetris.
Remember,
C16.
there's a cap. There's a cap, and Myles is going to bank it up. He's going to top out C16, and is going to take game number 1.
Yeah, C77, C82 now. GG, Andy. Game number 2, Andy on the march. Let's see what Myles can do as we count down game number 2 in 3, 2, 1, Tetris.
So we have a T, we have a J, same piece sets. So once again, vastly different stacking styles. Pretty interesting. Nice adjustments from Andy, just like always.
All right, there's a nice Tetris for Andy. He's going to go up to 22,000 with the first one. Myles still waiting to get his first Tetris. Ooh.
A little bit of traffic for Myles. A few dependencies, nothing to worry about, especially from a roller. Could potentially go extremely aggro and set up for a left well, but
Yeah, where is this long bar?
yeah, we're in extended dig. Myles is pretty,
Another triple having to take it here.
there's
Finally,
the long
Longbar's going to
bar.
show, but he was not ready.
but Pixel Andy was to 52,000, and another one with a slight hold there.
And finally going to get the long bar. There's the Tetris. 59,000 for Myles, 77 for Andy. We're through 20 lines.
So Bandy was generous enough to let me commentate a little bit. I flew all the way here. I didn't make the bracket. Let's get this guy to commentate a little bit.
Yeah. Speaking of flying all the way here and not making the bracket,
Yeah, I think a couple of people didn't. I think it's the first time that a 900,000 doesn't make into the main event in a regional qualifier. I was told by Scout that 900K wasn't enough in Ohio, but I think it was Ohio or somewhere. It was like a 8 people bracket. It was like a 24 bracket. So a 900K wasn't enough. That's Tetris in 2023 for you, all folks.
you know, I think that just speaks volumes to the high-level play of Tetris that we're seeing nowadays.
Yeah, even the DAS tournament, which was like a smaller side event, which not everyone participated in. The cutoff was like a huge score, probably good enough to get you at 80% of the previous CTWCs. So that tells you exactly how much the scene has been growing lately.
All right, yeah, we are about 45 lines through. Myles going to get a long bar and get a Tetris there at 197, 198 for Andy. So this is a neck-and-neck affair through 45.
Salo saying, we won't read the comments. We are reading the comments. We got you.
Andy is ready for the Tetris. There's the long bar, and there's another one. Myles waiting as well. 221 playing 244. Again, Myles still keeping pace with Andy, aside from not being able to score Tetrises early on.
Yeah, still pretty good pace for both of them. Not as a huge pace as the previous game. Still like a low 600,000, keeping the same efficiency. Unfortunate pieces, but nice adjustments into Tetris for Myles.
Yeah, so now 289 for Myles, having to use that long bar in the Aki position. Now Myles Tetris ready, 289. Andy at 291. Add a Tetris, go to 314.
Again, unfortunate pieces from Myles, making them work into a Tetris.
You can see kind of stacking up high. Has the piece maneuverability at 18 speed. Not a big deal. Can stack pretty high to stay efficient. Able to capitalize on almost every long bar that comes his way.
So 338 versus 337, almost like the exact same score. Nice placement of the long bar to make the J dependency and gets the J immediately. Pretty good adjustments overall for Myles. 340 versus 361. Approaching transition.
Yeah, Tetris there for Myles up to 363. Still neck and neck here, halfway through. Well, just over halfway. There's another long bar and a Tetris for Andy up to 384. Myles going to follow suit, knock down a Tetris 386, but it's about 4 lines in the future.
Now about 50 lines to go for the transition. 400,000 already for Myles. Andy just slightly behind. There's going to be the 400,000. So I think Andy's like about 4 to 3 lines. So this is pretty much pace-wise neck and neck. Pretty even.
All All right, 433. There's that Tetris for Myles. Go up to 456 on the nose at 99 lines. At 94, Pixel Andy at 435 now. Andy is ready and waiting for the long bar for a Tetris. There's the long bar, and there's the score up to 458.
So a little bit, I think it's Myles has a Tetris advantage at this point at 100 lines. Myles was at 476. I think Pixel Andy was slightly behind, like about 20,000 points ahead. Tetris and change.
But still a Tetris difference between these two players on 18. Certainly nothing to scoff at. Both players playing very good Tetris here.
Yeah, when it will evaporate like in nothing on post transition, especially in post transition, like the thrill screen, the skill screen.
Yeah, I've always liked calling it the thrill screen. You know, kind of it's no longer the kill screen for these players able to play
anymore.
Beyond 29 speed.
Unless we're in LATAM, the 19 transition is the actual kill screen for us. So we're not that good at
the... What are you talking about? The 19 transition is the kill screen for me.
It is a running meme in LATAM that once you reach 19, that's the LATAM kill screen.
All right, there's the long bar into transition for Myles at 6:19. Pixel Andy is waiting for a J piece, but does it come? Yes, J piece will come, and he is going to get set up. He is ready for a Tetris. Next Tetris will take him into transition. There's the bar. There's the score. His transition, 563. Off we run.
Yeah, so Myles about a 40,000 point lead, so about 2 Tetrises. Once again, another 600k transition for Myles, playing solidly once again. Took the lead over Andy in the last game, but Andy overtook it once again in the kill screen, in the former Neil Neon kill screen. Now 700,000 for Myles. Andy still a few lines behind.
Yeah, you can kind of tell just by the pace discrepancy now as both players enter level 20 that Pixel Andy has been taking a lot, or not stacking up as high. I shouldn't say taking any burns because he is still matching the efficiency. It's just Myles has been keeping that board higher and able to capitalize on a lot more Tetrises while Andy has to throw him over to the left. And
yeah, Myles still in a furious pace. 777 for Myles at level 21. Andy 716,000 at level 21 also. So I don't know what happened there. Myles catching up.
Yeah, welcome in Myles' mom, wishing on Myles. That's funny. All right, there's 832 added Tetris for Myles. Go to 860, 718 for Pixel Andy. Pixel Andy going to slam down a quick Tetris there up to 745. Another long bar added Tetris, 773. Myles going to follow suit. Go to 889.
889 for Myles. 773,000 for Pixel Andy. Slightly ahead Myles, but still in the lead, in the real lead, in the pace lead. I guess it would be like around the 2 Tetris lead still. Tetris for Andy, Tetris for Myles. Myles could potentially max out on level 25, which is pretty still rare, even in competition.
Yeah, and Myles waiting. There's the long bar. There's a Tetris. One more will do. He's at 979. Pixel Andy at 836, but Pixel Andy is on level 23. Myles is on level 24, about to hit level 25. There's that long bar. There's that Tetris and the max out A12. Again, an A standing for 1 million points. Added Tetris up to A43.
Now Myles opening quite a big of a lead. Also ahead in lines, quite ahead in lines. 200 lines for Myles, so Andy 12 lines behind, 871. There's the Tetris for Andy. Andy's gonna max out if he keeps this consistency into level 26,
yeah,
potentially on level 26.
Both knocked down a Tetris. We got a 1.1 for Myles, 934 for Andy. Andy with a slight misdrop, so he's gonna have to do some more cleaning here. Myles is clean. There's a long bar, another Tetris, adding to the lead. B41.
B41 for Myles to level 26. Is that like a 1.25? Could potentially even be 1.3 pace, I believe, into 29.
Yeah, Myles doing his absolute best here. There's another long bar and another Tetris. C08, level 27. That is a 1.2 million.
Oh, yeah, that's definitely 1.3 before 29. So we're seeing some
and another
serious
Tetris.
pace.
Myles playing out of his mind here on the 19 speeds. Another long bar and another Tetris. This could be a potential 1.3 into 29. He is set up and ready. Does this long bar come?
There's a go.
Bar. There's a 1.3 into 29. You hear Myles screaming, woo. He's at D20.
824 from Andy. Not maxed out still. Not like nothing to scuff about, but way ahead. It's Myles.
Yeah, and off we run for Andy with this next burn, and it has 2 more burns left. Probably going to Tetris here unless, nope, has to burn into transition. A70. Myles just singling and doubling, staying safe, trying to squeak out as many points as he can on the 29 thrill screen.
Andy, like 250,000 points behind. Myles is gonna miss up a T. He's
Ooh,
gonna miss up another an L. Now needs a really fast roll. Gets the roll.
You can kind of hear the audience reaction here, but Myles' board starting to spire out of control. Needs something for the left side. Not able to get that bar. We're missing the taps. D56, he's done.
So,
Pixel Andy with a chase down. You need D57.
So Pixel Andy needs D57 to get the game. Has all the time in the world. Level 31. Myles couldn't keep up the aggression. C06 from Andy, breaking the 1.2 barrier. Just 150,000 points to go, a little bit more.
Yeah, still very clean game here. Nice triple there for Andy. He's at C21, again aiming for that D57.
Oh, Myles. I mean, Andy misdropping a little bit, but getting it done. You can hear the rolls. The Andy is rolling the fingers on the controller. Always so satisfying to hear. I've heard it like tons of times. It's always so satisfying to hear.
Yeah, C36 now, C37. Ooh, the dead drop of the T. Now this board. Kind of see the face here. Let's see if Andy is able to dig out of this.
We need a Myles
trying to do some
dig.
flat burns, but
is
there
this gonna
anything
be
else
it?
he can do? And there's not. Andy's going to top out
C41.
So Myles able to hang in there at D56 and going to tie up the set 1-1. GG.
GG.
Pivotal game number 3. Both players tied at 1. Let's count this down
In 3, 2, 1, Texas. Let's go, Myles. Ready. And once again, pretty different stacking styles right out of the gate. We've seen Andy consistently get the first Tetris.
You know, Fizzy Cola Bottles in the chat asking, are we going to have rollovers required to win soon? And, you know, maybe not at this tournament, maybe in the finals, depending on who's there. But certainly at the current status of the game and how the players are progressing, I very well see that as a potential realistic thing.
Yeah, possibility to probably get the game. I mean, the 39 cap makes it like way harder.
Way harder, absolutely.
Yeah, we saw a couple of rollovers at last year's Lone Star qualifier, so it's going to be a little bit harder with the 39 cap. It's totally possible. We haven't seen, I think, players pushing themselves so bad into really deep levels. I mean, obviously, like live setting is also pretty nerve-wracking. And we have a lot of eyes on you, some more distraction, sounds, and whatever. So it's harder to achieve higher scores. A couple of people were saying, "Oh, qualifier scores were like so high as we were expecting it to be." But you have to remember, you have pretty few games, way more distractions.
Yeah, especially in a live event. You know, you start seeing, you know, players that have been around that kind of get tired from getting up, and, you know, checking out the other stuff that's going on at the convention. You know, players getting hungry. You know, there's a bunch of human factors, whereas if you're at home playing in an online tournament, you know, you can step away from your computer for a little bit, you know, get a drink, get something to eat. Here in an event, you know, you kind of have to be on call and waiting, you know, for your name to be called to show back up.
Yeah, exactly. So that's what makes it way harder and way more impressive to get like really crazy scores like the ones we saw at TTWC, like 2 million, with a bunch of people like screaming your name and whatnot. So yeah, I think we're gonna be able to see a few rollovers, probably in the later stages of the tournament when everything is on the line. Prize pool, pride, the victory, a nice trophy made by G's.
Yeah, so we've got 215 for Myles, added Tetris up to 237, 233 for Pixel Andy. So both players playing very clean and very well, keeping pace with each other through 50 lines. And just a reminder to those in the chat, we do have that Matcherino prize pool. I just want to plug that one more time. You know, we are looking at potential finalists for this bracket. So, you know, please type in the chat !Matcherino or go to ctm.gg/Matcherino and contribute to all of these contributions going to the players.
So 285 for Myles, 257 for Andy. You can expect these top players to be neck and neck.
You see Myles kind of going left well here. He's going to set up for the left well Tetris. There's the long bar, and there's the column 1 Tetris.
And he's setting Palito Talk, as we call it in the Latin community. 304 Palito Talk in the honor of the great Pepe. A few people, I don't know if don't remember Pepe, or a few newer people didn't get the chance to meet him. Great player, great ass player, great friend overall. We used to coin it the Palito Talk. 340 versus 331 for Andy and Myles.
You know, and I liked Myles' S flat there. You know, some players maybe, or newer folks would say, you know, that was probably a dead drop or a miss drop, but you know, that's actually calculated. An S flat, when you have no place for that S piece, is actually a very good move. Very easy to solve with tucks. or a spin, so it leaves a lot of options. Myles going to just option into a column 2 Tetris there, go up to 367, now 369. Hey now, 399 for Pixel Andy. Pixel Andy is with the delayed burn setup, gets the burn, gets the well open, just waiting for the long bar.
So someone is now following. I'm sorry if I don't know how to say that, but thanks for the follow. Welcome. And GS in chat. The trophies are made by me. True, Dad. Yeah. How many points have you poured over this time around? Like a million points, GS? Thank you for the trophies, my guy. 415 for Myles. 446 for Andy. Nearing transition, about 40 lines for each. Once again, Myles pulling a little bit ahead of Andy in the early stages of the game.
All right, Pixel Andy going to knock down a Tetris. We enter the 100-line turn at 491. Myles going to use that long bar to get Tetris ready, waiting for another one, setting up a long bar dependency in the center of the stack. We'll see the Opsafilla dependency first, and he will. 439, there's another long bar and a Tetris. 462 at 102 for Myles. Andy starting to pull away here.
Yeah, nearing transition. So we're going to see another huge pace from these players. They are always spoiling us with great Tetris play. Myles set up that overhang, which didn't resolve properly. Now has a little bit of an awkward board right before transition, but no big deal. A few pieces is going to get them clean. Now clean, waiting for the long bar like it's nothing, and Tetris for Myles. 511 for Myles. 562 for Andy. Andy's still on 600 pace, and I believe Myles also on 600k pace.
You kind of see Andy taking the triple there. He knows that transition's approaching. Doesn't want to get up too high, be too dependent going into 19 speeds, because, you know, yes, these players are rollers, but that 19 speed can still be a little tricky.
Yeah, so we could probably see back transition. Oh no, it's not possible anymore for Myles. Gonna transition 584, sorry, but Andy can 600k transition. Still, pretty big paces overall. Awkward stack for Andy, but shouldn't be okay. Tetris for Andy.
He's going to transition 620, so a great transition score for Andy, but he does have some cleanup to do. It's going to slow him down a bit. Myles is clean and ready to score. There's a long bar. There's the Tetris. Go up to 632.
Yeah, pretty unfortunate pieces.
Neck and neck affair here.
Pretty unfortunate pieces for Andy. He's going to have to go on row 2, I believe. Not going to go for the cleanup
here. Going to cause some holes in the stack. He's going to contend with those now after scoring the Tetris. He's at 661. Pixel Andy at 643.
Yeah, it's just how you can see the pieces do influence a little bit the play style. We're seeing two of the best players in the world, and they were playing simultaneously a little bit dirty. Andy's still not finding the rhythm, but getting some nice, clever tucks to get in. Tetris from Andy, but a slight misdrop. Missed the 5 roll. One of the hardest things to do in the game if you roll. But solving it properly. Myles is going to take the lead. 720 is going to extend the lead further while getting most of the opportunity of this Andy cleanup.
All right, now 748 for Myles. Just kind of waiting for this long bar. And long bar going to come one piece too early. Did not have the well open, but going to get another one. Get that Tetris. Andy going S flat all the way to the left. Is he going to resolve just with a couple of tucks and quick burns? He is triple ready.
Yeah, Myles about a 50,000 point lead, so about 2 Tetrises or Tetris and change. So 785 for Myles, getting a little bit weak on the left side, but he's going to get a Tetris. 772 for Andy. So once again, we have a neck and neck match. These players pushing themselves to the limit, and this is a pivotal game. And he's not like feeling it. A little bit of misdrops are going to prolong this dig further and further. What's it going to do? What's it going to be the best option? Going 30, going there for cleanup. That's what
and Andy is going to set up for that dirty Tetris and is waiting. Yeah. We're going to take the triple because no long bar in sight.
Yeah,
he's going to set up again. There's a long bar and a dirty Tetris. Transitions well back to where it belongs. 850 playing 912. There's a Tetris for Myles up to 944.
Yeah, and considering all the cleanup that Andy had to do, Myles not that far away, actually. 947 for Myles, 882 for Andy. Andy, you're measuring, how do I do this? Do I go aggressive? Do I build down? Am I going to rely on 39? Am I not going to rely on 39? The kill screen added a lot more depth to the competitive scene, especially the 39 cap. So now we're nearing transition, the last transition. 820 for Myles already into 27. Andy not quite there.
Yeah, but he is going to get a long bar for the Tetris there. 957. 2 more Tetrises will give him the max out, but Myles currently on pace into these 29 speeds to be ahead of Andy here.
Yeah, pretty nice adjustment for Myles. You can see those pretty often in Myles' side, adjusting the J to make up room for a no tuck. Now waiting on the long bar. There's another long bar. Another one for Myles into 29. B29 for Myles.
Another really good showing here for Myles in the post transition into level 29 at B66. Andy with the max out, now going to transition at A15. So both players off and running on these 29 speeds. Myles and Andy both single and doubling. Nobody stacking here.
Yeah, Myles transitioned with the Tetris. Andy with good Tetris for Myles. I mean, Andy, A61 for Andy. B91 for Myles. Once again, Myles going out a little bit of trouble.
Oh my gosh, T-spin. Oh, he misses the spin, but should be okay. Nice square over to the left. He's at B98. Andy at B14. Myles needing to get this down. Oh, but a couple of hangs. Needs a bar, not coming.
Still doable.
And Andy also in a bit of trouble here. Both players fighting.
And Myles is going to top out C.
Andy Tetris ready, gets a Tetris, B66. C09 is your target, Andy.
So Andy needs 609 to get the game, getting it done, getting it properly done. B76 for Andy, needs C09. Almost there. No need to go aggressive. Pretty lengthy amount of time left for 39. A little bit of a misdraw, but that should be doable.
Gets that bar over, that was crucial.
So C09 is what you need, Andy.
And he's closing up on that, just about 10,000 more points. There's the 1.2.
And there we go. Andy's gonna take
5,000 more points.
Oh, no.
Needs a bar.
Oh, no. CO9.
CO6. We're getting close here. CO7.
Close.
Oh,
No.
But CO7 not going to get it done.
Oh.
Myles going to squeak by the skin of his teeth at CO8 and take game number 3.
That's going to be one of the closest losing margins we've seen.
Wow,
one line.
right.
Myles scraping by the skin of his teeth.
Let's find out what happens. We're going to count down from 4. And
4, 3, 2, 1. Tetris. So there we go, correct pieces. And already Salo clipped that for anybody who missed it.
Yeah, thank you for clipping that. All right, but yeah, what a fantastic set this has been between these two players. Of course, two of the best players in the world competing here, trying to punch their ticket on to the next round.
Nice tuck setups for Myles. 22,000. Also, again, first Tetris went to Pixel Andy.
Perfect through 8.
Yeah, perfect through 8. I didn't see that there wasn't a single burn
taken. Yeah, Myles
taken.
unfortunately did have to take a couple of burns there, but better burn down and safe than, topping out, right?
Yeah, for those who didn't watch that CDWC match, Fractal versus Andy, Fractal went perfect for almost the entire length of the 18. That was pretty good. Now Andy going for a perfect game of the way to 16 lines. Gonna take a burn, that's fine.
Yeah, there's a Tetris for both. Pixel Andy now at 114, Myles at 95, and we're through 21 lines. But yeah, Pollo, watching these players play on that 29 speed, seeing Pixel Andy almost chase that score down, how exhilarating,
yeah.
right? And just adding into this live experience, like you said earlier, it's so electrifying hearing the audience reactions. When you're at home and you're cheering, your parents look at you like, what are you doing? Why are you screaming in your bedroom, right?
Yeah, exactly. Why are you screaming? It could potentially also be like a plus thing. A couple of people like hearing the energy, get the excitement going, the adrenaline going. Some other people really dislike it, gets them out of their comfort zone. It kind of happened to me during the qualifiers, but I know a couple of people that say I 100,000 preferred playing like in real life competition.
Oh, absolutely. Being in a live scene, whether it be playing Tetris or doing something else that you enjoy, having energy to feed off of a crowd, really could make the difference and make that more exciting for you and make it more appealing.
Yeah, so the question is, can the players hear the commentators? Yeah, I mean, we have a speaker set up, at least in the main channel that you're watching right now. We're trying to speak loudly so they can hear whatever they need. And they also pretty constantly go and check their opponent's screen. You can see that a lot. Not possible during online competition, maybe during max out play, but totally possible. And another strategy to take in mind now, Andy playing a little bit high. It's gonna work through these. Correct
and
pieces.
Andy kind of halfway up the board here. Going to get that well open just in the nick of time. Get a long bar. We're through 60 lines. 251 for Andy. Added Tetris go to 274. 233 for Myles.
Yeah, so now Andy in the pace lead so far in the 18. It was the other way around in the previous games with Myles. Now Andy's going to be slightly ahead in the pace. Nice adjustments going to seeing the squares.
You can kind of see the faces here, determination. Myles, of course, dialed in. Andy as well, focused. We saw in that Deathmatch, the players kind of laughing, joking it off.
Yeah.
You've got these players here, dialed in and focused, fighting to be the winner here.
Yeah, and Andy, one of those players that always performs extremely well under online circumstances, in real life circumstances. So pretty consistent overall player. Knows he can get through this round. Myles also pretty capable player. Andy, multiple time, I think, CTM champion. Myles still not quite there, but will eventually get there. One of the top players in the world.
All right, now Myles is at 306. Had to take a couple of burns, and Longbart's finally going to show 308. Added Tetris go to 331. Andy's at 391. Needs a square for the center of the board. Ooh, but hang of that T. Going to use a J piece to plug in the center. Is going to be able to get a Tetris to bring the board down. Should be able to roll a Longbar over that. Nice tuck there, too, as well for Pixel Andy. And we're at about the 100 line turn here. Myles at 378. Pixel Andy actually still in the lead here. So can't afford a little bit of pace loss here as he's continuing the stick. Myles at 379 is now Tetris ready. Gets a long bar. There's a Tetris 402. Andy now with an unfortunate flip there. Going to have to do a little bit more cleanup.
Yeah, I didn't catch exactly what happened, but Andy catapulted into the lead a little bit, about a 90,000 point lead. So Andy has a little bit of leeway to lose. Still not the best result yet. And there we go. Myles still behind Andy, considering all this dig that Andy has been going through for 28.
Yeah, but Myles is also ahead in the pace, and with that, going to take the real-time score lead, but Andy going to take it right back, and Andy has cleaned up, as is Myles. Myles tucked to the square. There's a long bar for the Tetris, go to 470. So neck and neck, these players exchanging the lead.
Yeah, approaching the potentially last game on favor of Myles, but not in favor of Andy, going pretty good. Not a high-scoring game as the previous one before transition. But there we go, 475 for Andy. It's going to be a mid to low 500,000 transition.
Yeah, there's a Tetris for Myles, 496. Would love another piece. Has two Tetrises available if he plays perfectly.
Andy transitions first, 522. He was playing a little bit higher up due to the burns he had to do, so that's why he's ahead in lines, 131. And Myles is going to transition 543, so not that big of a lead, just for the long bar. Pretty nice adjustment.
Yeah, but still great scores nonetheless. I mean, I think there's a lot of players here that would love a 500K transition, and these players making it look easy.
Yeah, absolutely. And this is still max out pace for these players. Usually you want to go for the 600K if you want to go for a safe max out, but these players can max out even if you get like a 400K transition, so no big deal. 593 for Myles, 578 for Andy.
Yeah, and I wouldn't be surprised if these players could max off of a 300K transition with 29 play.
I wouldn't be surprised if players could max out without a single Tetris, just like Gerald showed it was possible.
All right, 645 for Myles. He's ready and waiting. Going to take a burn. There's a long bar. There's the score, 674. Meanwhile, Andy at 610, kind of trying to fill out the board. Going to force a long bar dependency. Now he's set up for a dirty Tetris, column and row 2, but going to take the triple instead at 618.
Yeah, pretty disciplined decision there for Andy. Do I go aggro? Do I risk a more jagged stack? But now you cannot see that Andy's not that happy about it. 624,000 for Andy. Myles going to 731,000, so approaching the 100,000 point lead for Myles. This is what you want to see if you're a match point. This is not what you want to see if you're Andy. And there we go, nice cleanup for Andy into a Tetris.
Yeah, kind of was struggling a little bit in the first couple levels of the post-transition. Not able to get that 5-tap and get that long bar over. He is Tetris ready. Let's see if another bar comes for some relief here. Going to take the triple instead. There's the long bar. He fills the dependency first. 660 for Andy. There's the long bar. There's the Tetris up to 690. Myles at 793, so 100,000 point lead here. Both players level 24.
Yeah, you can see that the top players do that a lot. I mean, when you're not that efficient, or maybe you're a DAS player, you want to go for a Tetris instead of filling the dependency. But I've seen that happened multiple times now. I'm gonna go for the dependency, and then I'm gonna go for a Tetris. When you have the speed, when you have the mental tenacity that these players have, it's no big deal. I'm pretty high up. I'm always that up. So bomba for Andy, bomba for Myles, just as what Johan would say.
All right, 921. Myles starting to spire a bit, has a long bar dependency in the center of the stack, going to get the long bar and fill that dependency. Is going to do a little bit more cleanup, one more burn, should be out of the woods. Andy, though, also in a bit of a situation here, having to take burns. Myles is clean, and Myles also with a 127,000 point lead, going to add to that, go to 959.
Yeah, and Myles and Andy.
Oh, and Andy missing the L piece. Wanted to put that in the middle to get Tetris ready, but snaking that long bar all the way over. Andy should be fine here. Needing a couple more pieces, though, to get out of this. And Myles does have the max out, 829, level 27.
And Andy in the same situation that it was last time. What do I do? Do I go and get all the way down? Do I go and dirty Tetris this up all the way down? I think the sensible thing to do now is build down. The
and
last
get ready for
transition
the 29,
is coming.
exactly.
Yeah. Andy, I think, has the better PB on 29. So in paper, Andy could be the more proficient player in 2029.
Yeah, Myles is clean. Going to get a long bar into transition to 29 at B13. Andy at 829 into 29 as well. Andy about halfway up the board, but is getting some pieces actually set up in the center. Does the long bar come and is waiting, gets a long bar for the Tetris, goes to 874. But Myles is also playing cleanly. Myles at B33.
So Andy can go through a dig. Going to be prolonged
and this
a little
could spell
bit.
Curtains for Andy if he's not careful. Hangarang on the left. Can he get anything else? No, he can't. Pixel Andy at 881 is done. B41. GG's to our players.
For
Myles, congratulations on moving on to the tournament. Andy, we'll see you down in the second chance bracket. GG.
Hey everybody, this is your old pal Vandweller, host of Classic Tetris Monthly, and I'm asking you to do me a favor. If you like this video, hit thumbs up. If you want to see more videos like it, please subscribe and bang that notification bell. And follow us on Twitch at twitch.tv/monthlytetris. Thank you, and have a nice day.